Awesome, guys. How are we doing this lovely morning? How has been your weekend all the way? And today we have a really special guest with us. She is Wajiha. She's from Pakistan, Islamabad. She has a strong background in digital marketing. She has a strong background on coding. She's a good coder. She's a software engineer, right? Software, right?
Yeah.
Yep, she's a software
Yeah,
engineer
software engineer.
from NUST. She's also from SEEKS, which is one of the leading institutes in Pakistan, especially NUST. And today we have Wajiha for the basics to know how digital marketing has, helped businesses upscale their revenue and how digitization, working on data, working on Web 3.0 has helped us or helped the revenue throughout the businesses to upscale their streams and how Wajiha will enhance further skill sets and how she will technically work with more of the firms she technically is working. So Wajiha, let's start with you. You have really extensive background. I saw your LinkedIn. People are technically following you. You have a big fan following on LinkedIn. Uh, let's just start from your basic background. How did you come into this field, and why do you think the digital marketing is technically helping businesses boom their revenue?
Okay, sure. So the way I got into digital marketing was around 4 to 5 years ago. I went to China on a volunteering trip, and when I came back, a lot of people asked me about my experience in China. So I thought of starting a blog. I had no clue about digital marketing back then because I was obviously studying software engineering, and I had no plan of going into digital marketing. But I had this amazing travel experience, and I thought of making a travel blog out of it, and I did. I made a really good travel blog, and it became the basis for my journey towards digital marketing. A lot of people liked my blog, and I started offering my services as a freelance writer. And from there onwards, I started learning more about SEO and ads and copywriting and all of that stuff. That's how I ended up in digital marketing. And I feel like a lot of businesses are making good revenue with digital marketing because the entire world is living in the internet now, right? And any business that is not online, they're going to be left behind because every business in today's age need a website and an app, and they need to get in front of their audience who are using social media platforms, and that can help them generate more revenue. And if they're not doing that, if they're still operating by the old brick and mortar method, uh, they won't be able to put themselves in front of their target audience, and hence they won't be able to generate good revenue. So I guess that's why digital marketing is so important and business needs to go digital.
That's really well said, Vijaya. People technically get confused. They have a myth in their minds that they say that you need to have strong coding sense. You need to be a good coder at the back end, at the front end. Is this still a prerequisite, to become an effective digital marketer, or is it just a myth?
I think there is some truth to it, but it is also a myth to some extent, especially because the tools out there are becoming so sophisticated. You can literally create a website or an entire landing page by just dragging and dropping. Right, so you can find the right tools that don't need you to code at all. There are, like, even if you want to build an e-commerce store, tools like Shopify and Wix, they just allow you to drag and drop stuff, and you have a website within less than 48 hours. So unless you want something very specific or something with very high functionality, you don't really need to know how to code. And let's say you do have a need on how to code, like you do need something that needs coding, you can always hire a freelancer to do it for you. But overall, you can get started in the online space without the need of coding or any technical knowledge at all.
Yeah, for instance, the websites like WordPress, Wix, Weebly, that technically have
Yeah.
really reduced the work labor. They've reduced
Yeah.
reduced the further costs that are being incurred to the business. So, would you have what if you are a mentor to someone, if you're a mentor to me, and I'm the first guy who came to you and I really want to start my business, which is related to some sending marketing solutions to digital companies, or trying to build a product and to sell the product, what would you suggest me to start? I mean, how would you technically drive me through? How would you technically build a small consumer path map that how technically would I be able to gather the traffic on our website? Or if it's any traditional method that you would recommend me to do, what would your aspect be?
I guess the first thing I would suggest you to do is get really really good at sales and marketing, and to understand the basic concepts of both sales and marketing, especially sales, because I feel like even if you come from a business background, there are a lot of things in sales and marketing that they don't teach you in school. So when you actually try to sell yourself or your product in the online marketing space, you get hit with a lot of roadblocks, and if you don't know how to overcome those roadblocks, you're not going to get anywhere in the online space, whether you're trying to sell a product or a service. So I guess the first thing I would do is I would ask you to learn different ways to market yourself, whether it's through Google SEO or organic marketing on Facebook or LinkedIn, or inorganic marketing using any kind of ads. And once you get a grasp on how to market, then you need to know how to sell your product, and how to actually write either proposals or how to jump on sales calls and handle objections. Because even if your marketing is good, but your sales is not good, you're not going to get very far, and vice versa is true as well, right? So you need to have a good marketing in place, you need to have a good branding messaging in place, and you need to stand out amongst your competitors, and you need to have a strong skill set in sales if you really want to make it out there.
True. Vijay, every time a young hustler comes in, they're like, okay, how am I going to do this? I'm going to require a lot of funds to get this move. I got to require a lot of hard work to put this in. You know, for digital marketer and being a, as you have the technical knowledge as well as the theoretical knowledge of the whole thing, how the system works, how the schema is changed into a high point of sales. If you could demonstrate by telling the user or the viewers of this post who are going to watch the replay of it, how did you and how was the most technical part that you encountered in your life while you were working as a digital marketer? The toughest moment you ever
I
came
guess the
across?
most uh-huh I guess for me, the toughest moment still is sales and marketing. It may be because I'm not from a sales and marketing background, but I always, whenever I'm on a sales call, I'm always learning new things. I'm always learning from my mistakes, and I'm always doing a lot of mistakes. And very recently, I came across this concept of handling objections, and I realized that every time I hear an objection, I just shut down. I don't know how to make that sale anymore, and I would just, jump off from that particular call. So I guess for me, I'm still in the process of learning how to become a really really good seller, and how to grasp human psychology, and how to use human psychology and emotions to become a better seller, and how to serve people in a way that helps them but also helps me at the end as a digital marketer. So I guess that's my answer for it. For me, selling is still the hardest part. And I'm still learning. I'm learning every day, and I'm experimenting a lot. I'm jumping on a lot of sales calls, even if I don't make those sales, and putting myself out there. And I'm grasping every knowledge I can about selling, and I'm learning from some of the best marketers and sellers out there. For example, Alex Ramonzi. If you just Google his name, you will see his YouTube channel, and he's sharing so many tips about how to sell, and his videos are just amazing, and you will learn a lot about selling just from that one guy. And he all of his content is free on YouTube. So that has been the hardest part for me. And I guess the day I master selling and marketing, I can sell anything. I can sell an e-commerce product, I can sell a high ticket service or a coaching program, anything. So that is my goal, that and the challenge that I'm trying to overcome right now.
Oh, that's really heart touching. Because most of the time, as being a digital marketer or being a solopreneur or a entrepreneur, that's the biggest hurdle that you face. And technically, this is the biggest dilemma every marketer, every salesperson has to go through. Okay, Vachiha,
Yeah.
let's talk a little technical about how you convert your leads into mature leads, or how cold calling has affected the business. And what do you think is the most effective strategy? Either using a traditional approach to, sell it to one person than the other one, or would you suggest, have age bracket, income bracket, and then target each specific ones with their specific skill
Okay.
sets? What would you suggest the young hustlers to work on?
Sure. Okay, sure. So I guess my number one suggestion would be to first of all understand your target audience, sit down and develop your ideal customer avatar or your customer persona, customer persona, figure out who they are, what their age group is, what their demographics are, what their income level is, and just draw a rough picture of who those ideal clients look like, right? So once you have that written down, then you need to find blue oceans, and blue oceans are basically communities of those people, of people who are your exact target audience, and they can be lying around in a Reddit group, or on a Quora platform, or any Facebook group, right? So once you have your ideal customer figured out, then find out where they are laying down, right? Where you can find them, and then once you know who they are and where they are, then you can start targeting them effectively. And a good way to do that is, if you're just starting out, if you're brand new, if you don't have a lot of marketing budget, a good way to do that is to post content, to give them free value up front, to give them free lead magnets, or do value posts that gives them knowledge, or you know increase their overall understanding about your particular niche or services. So just offer them a lot up front, and slowly they will start remembering you by your name. They will start seeing that, okay, this person shared this much value with me up front. And there are a lot of ways to do that. I myself have tried multiple ways. I have created a lot of free audit checklists, free lead magnets. I've created a lot of posts, blog posts, as well as videos that I just send to those people for free, and I don't ask for anything in return. But what that process does is it helps convert those people from my cold audience into warm audience, right? So when they reach a point in their business where they need my services, they will remember me, because I at some point in the past I had an interaction with them that was not transactional, and where I just offered them free value upfront. So that is, I guess, one of the best ways to get clients for your business. Cold calling and cold emailing works as well, but it takes a lot of effort upfront. To let's say you're cold emailing, you need to gather a list of more than 1,000 emails and then cold pitch them every day. Or if you start DMing people on LinkedIn or Facebook and if you start pitching them your services right away, it might work, but at least for me, the conversion rate for cold messaging was very, very low. And I found out that by building relationships and by providing upfront value, I was able to convert better. So that's what I would suggest to other people as well.
Most of the times people, when they're trying to, sell the product on the wrong platform, or the platform that is not designed for the specific product, technically don't work out the way you mentioned. For instance, if someone is
Yeah.
selling a high-end TikTok video, selling it on LinkedIn, technically he won't have those conversions or
Yeah.
those leads or those mature leads. Technically, the idea is gonna, boom. But what if they're
Yeah.
trying to sell the same idea on the same platform, which is designed for instance, if someone is selling a TikTok video on Instagram, they're going to get more leads, they're going to get more connections, they're going to have high reach. So how would you technically segregate between different platforms? I mean, how would you suggest me that specific platform is designed for the specific, platform? Either it is true or it's false. What are your thoughts on it?
Okay. Okay, yeah, I guess it's definitely important to understand what platform would work best for you. And one way of doing that is by understanding who the audience is on a particular platform. For example, Facebook has all kinds of people, businessmen, moms, teenagers, young people like you and me. And it's very easy to market almost all kinds of services on Facebook. But when you talk about LinkedIn, it's better to market your professional services on LinkedIn than to market, let's say, your e-commerce products, right? And when you come on Instagram, it works best for e-commerce products, and some it also works best for services, but it's more well known for e-commerce products or beauty products or fashion products especially. So once you have a good understanding of the audience that is lying on each platform, then you can decide where to market more effectively. And I guess once you learn your own target audience better, you will be able to find them on each platform, and then you'll be able to figure out, okay, this is my target audience and this is where I can find them. That's how you can decide.
And that's really understood. That's really understandable. But there's still the dilemma is everywhere in the mind, that when the consumer is trying to create a user end diagram where he sees that how one user flows through right one across one of the pages and then finds that his lead hasn't been matured, or they still are stuck in the funnel somewhere which is not being processed or digested. So this is a really subtle example that you just quoted. For the specific platform, you need to have a specific audience who's technically working on it. So, Vijaya,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on going into paid programs, paid promotions? If you got zero funds, you got no money on your background, you got nothing on it, but still people say that they need to go on paid because they are not getting any results on organic searches, or organic work is not working the way they were supposed to. So, do you think do you suggest that it's a good way to go into the paid campaigns rather than staying organic at the start of the journey?
I feel like, yeah, so I feel like if you have a lot of capital, or if you have a lot of money to burn up front, and you have money that even if you lose it, it's not going to hurt you or your business, I guess then you can try out and try and venture out into inorganic marketing. But if you're just starting out, if you don't have a lot of capital to play with, then let's say you need to go in debt to run your Facebook ads, then it's probably not worth it, right? And you need a lot of budget upfront if you really want to see good results from inorganic marketing. So I would suggest, like, the better way would be, especially if you're a service provider, test out freelance sites first. Start building some capital from there, or find a job in your particular niche and use that to fund your inorganic campaigns. Otherwise, if you don't have any source of income right now, inorganic marketing might not be the answer for you. Or if you don't have any kind of budget to play with, I would suggest that you need to work hard, you need to become very, very creative, and you need to create content across the platform of your choice, and you need to put yourself out there, and you need to start building relationships with your particular target audience. So yeah.
Exactly. That's how it's supposed to be. But technically, many people don't get it. They're more centric towards having high numbers. They want more followers. They want more likes. They want more comments on each post. They want more engagement rather than having conversion from mature leads to high end paying clients. Like you said, you need to have one. But most of the times they technically think that burning up front is going to cost you way more than staying organic, and organic is a slow method but it's highly effective. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess organic is slow and it does need patience, but it does pay off well at the end. Whereas in inorganic, let's say you have a fixed budget, but you burn it in the first 2 months of your business, which I did for myself last year when I launched an e-commerce brand. I had a small budget for my e-commerce product, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hit $10,000 per month with my e-commerce store," and I started marketing it on Facebook, and I wasn't able to get any returns from it, especially because algorithms take a while to understand your target audience and to start generating results for you. So if you don't have budget for at least 6 months, you're not going to make good money with it, right? So you need to find ways to be creative and to put yourself out there in front of other people organically. And I guess if you are doing all the things right, you should be able to see results. I think it's a myth that organic marketing is slow, because I have uh, I have had experiences where I was able to get my clients within a week of starting organic marketing on a particular platform. For example, I had only 600 followers on LinkedIn, and I started doing some posts around copywriting, and I found my first client from there, like within a week. So I guess it's all about putting the right messaging in front of the right people and on the
True.
right platform, and you might even get
True.
started within a week if everything aligns perfectly.
True. Very well, very well. That's what the audience wanted to hear, because staying organic is far more effective and efficient than going to paid campaigns, right? If you don't even have any capital to put
Yeah.
all on one thing.
Yeah.
So, Vijaya, you have far more experience in digital marketing than me, or most of the people who lie in your specific age bracket, right? Before we design something, before we come up with a strategy, either it's being a creative strategy, or if it's being SEO strategy, or if it's being any campaign strategy, there are some barriers that you're supposed to keep on, right? For instance, there is supposed to be a thought process before you come up with something. For instance, if you're trying to design a poster on Canva, or a ad copy on Canva, or any other platform apart from Canva that I've been working on. So, do you think that having a right thought process is mandatory, or just blindly posting of all the materials is a good strategy?
No, I think you do need the right thought process. process before jumping into anything. And the way to do that is by doing research, and there are different kinds of research. So let's talk about copywriting, for example. I get a lot of clients who want me to write copy for their e-commerce stores, or for a landing page that they are launching for a new product of theirs, right? So no matter what you're doing, whether it's a post that you plan on doing on Facebook, or if you are designing a poster, you need to research on who those people who will see that content that you will create online, right? So you need to have different kinds of research in place. You need to study your competitors, you need to study your customers, you need to study your market, your industry, and if you plan on getting in front of Google, you need to study SEO practices, right? So you need to have the right research methodology in place, and then you need to come up with the right strategy on how to bring those people from top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel, where they go from being cold leads to eventually becoming your clients, even if it's just a poster that you're using to promote your services. So I think a lot of factors do come into play. You need to figure out, like, especially for me as a marketer, I always try to take into consideration human psychology, whether it's about designing a post, or writing like designing a post on Canva, or writing something for Facebook. I always try to figure out that, okay, let's say if you're designing a post on Canva, does red color make more sales, or is it blue color that keeps people uh, away
More
from my
friendly,
post and gets
more
them to buy more from me?
intuitive. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and same in terms of writing content, right? What kind of words will my audience resonate with the most, and what kind of sentences or what kind of messaging will make them emotional and take the action I want them to take? So I guess having a bit of an understanding of human psychology along with the right thought process can really set you up for a path for success.
Exactly. That's how things are supposed to be. But most of the people, like I mentioned earlier, they are greedy because they want more money, they want more leads, or they want
Yeah,
more numbers on their Instagram. It's just a number which technically they want to convert into leads, which apparently doesn't happen that way.
true.
So,
Yeah.
Gia, before we run out of time, I just want to know, what are your thought process when you see another Wajiha Yasin who's technically doing the same services as you are, but sitting in some other part of the world. For instance, uh, name any. She might be from the US, the Europeans, the Atlanteans, the Asians, or any part of the world. How technically are you different than the one who is your competitor? How technically are you, the lead that you have is going to differentiate between the Vajia from Pakistan or the Vajia from the US? How technically are you different from the other one?
In terms of my services,
In terms of your services, in terms of your brand, in terms of your placement in front of the targeted audience, how are you different?
I guess the one thing that I always try to incorporate, which I think makes me different, is my personality into my branding messaging or marketing messaging. Because I believe even if you're offering the same services and you are marketing your services to your target audience, if you incorporate a bit of your own personality, that's going to set you apart very, very much from anyone else out there who is offering something similar to your same target audience, right? Because at the end of the day, I believe people do business with people. We don't do businesses with a particular website or a robot or something, right? We do businesses with people, and most of the people they decide to work with someone based on their personality. I know that's not how it seems like on the surface, but when we decide to work with someone, we always unconsciously take into consideration their personality, their work ethic, their attitude, and their overall behavior, right? So at the end of the day, humans do business with humans. So if we have a good personality, if we are communicating better, if we have strong work ethics, if we are over delivering and we are putting our clients' needs before our own, that will automatically set us apart, and that will automatically differentiate us from any other service provider out there. And clients will be able to see that you are a very unique person of your own, with your own independent skill set and your own behaviors and attitudes that they may be able to benefit from, because our services are not the only thing that can benefit them. It's us and our abilities as a whole that will help them take their businesses to the next level.
True, very well. But what if things go south? If things don't turn out the way you promised to be, how still you can build a positive relationship within?
I guess if things don't go the right way, I'm always willing to take responsibility, and I always ask my clients where I went wrong, and I offer to give them the money back if money is involved, or if I always try to compensate them in any way possible, and I always try to improve myself as well in that particular area. And I guess that's really important. If you're not willing to grow in the online space, if you're not willing to grow as a person, you're not going to go very far, right? Because all of us are humans, we all make mistakes, and the right thing to do is always accept our mistake, and not be arrogant about it. Accept your mistake and learn from it, and make conscious effort to grow from it, and to become a better person, to become a better marketer or a better freelancer at the end of it. So I guess that really helps.
That exactly really helps, and this is technically how what makes us human, because accepting the mistakes at the right
Yeah.
time, saves their budget, save their respect as well as yours. So
Yeah.
yeah, these were most of the questions that we had from our viewers. The survey we forwarded, we
Hmm.
had such questions in the digital space, working on data, working on matrices, designing different strategies, core strategies, competencies. They really are, some things that always require a specific individual with specific skills, like you, like the people on the
Yeah.
podcast who were with us. So, Vijaya, one last thing. It can be a simple code. It can be your to-do list that you would really want the connected
Hmm.
audience or the people who watch this replay. Technically, what would you advise them to start, working?
I guess the only advice I would give is to never stop learning, and to never stop being curious, because that's the only thing that has helped me grow the most in the last few years. Because if you don't have that desire to grow, and if you don't have curiosity coming out of you, and if you don't have that fire in you, I believe it will be very hard for you to make it anywhere in the world. So for me, I always try to learn a lot. I'm always consuming stuff. I'm always trying to upgrade my skills. And if I feel like I have a roadblock in front of me, I don't just give up, right? I always make really good effort to learn the skill I need to learn to overcome that obstacle. So I guess never stop learning. Even if you're 80 years old, just learn and learn and learn, and that will eventually pay off.
True, that would eventually be. That's how it's supposed to be. But I hope more women come into play, because it's specially designed for women. Because it also is designed for women. You don't need to go out of your houses. You don't have to travel to the bus. You don't have to walk thousands of hundreds of miles. You could
Yeah,
just sit in your home. You could be in your bed. You can be at the table like you yourself is working on, and technically make more revenue and bring far more remittances to the country, and making Pakistan a scope of freelancers, and
yeah,
a huge forum where technically everybody stay connected. So
exactly.
thank you, Wajiha. Thank you so much for your time, and we are technically looking
It's my
to
pleasure.
have more podcasts with you, and technically looking to work in longer term, building communities, and building relationships, technically connect
Yeah,
us where we really want to be. So
yeah, likewise, Shabazz.
yeah, thank you, Wajiha. It's a pleasure always having you. It was a really nice talk. And so anything else you would like to add before we jump back to our own space?
I guess that's about it. Just don't forget to grow, and always look out for the updates, because I feel like technology is moving so fast. All the trends online are changing very, very quickly as well. So always stay up to date, and always learn as much as you can, and you're gonna succeed.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, Wajiha. Thank you, Wajiha. Uh, that's up. That's the one that at least I could
Okay,
say. So thank you, Wajiha.
okay,
Thank you so
that's
much.
great. You're welcome.